take it back to the basics for me. Like, how do companies just get better at marketing and get better at sales, and then as a byproduct, get better at measuring the effectiveness of both?
So, what you sell is kind of interesting. How you sell is a little more interesting. How customers feel when they engage with you, your people, and your brand, that's what it's all about. And so that for me is customer experience, which was my first path. It's my true north. Two things. The fastest way to get your customers to love your brand is to get your employees to love their job. So if you're a realtor who has a team, making sure everybody is enabled and empowered to do what's best, not only for you, but for the customer. And so if you think from a starting point of customer experience, it doesn't end when the lead happens. It doesn't end when the sale happens. It never ends, because the ongoing customer service, customer success, I think that's the trifecta for me. Many people talk sales and marketing and they forget about customer service, the sort of post-service, post-sale service. So for example, I'm selling a house. You mentioned something about, oh, there's some remodeling we want to do, but we want to be settled in for about 6 months before we start making those decisions. Well, go ahead and enter that into your CRM system. And 6 months from now, say, hey, I wanted to drive by with a general contractor that I highly recommend. I know that you were looking to do. That's an after sale service, right? You're not waiting for your phone to ring. But if you hadn't captured that information in some system, how are you ever going to remember that Tiffani Bova wanted to remodel her house in 6 months? Or maybe even wanted to buy a vacation home in a couple of years when your husband retires or your wife retires, your partner retires. Putting that in so that you can follow up. And then they're like, wow, you know me, it's personalized, it's contextual, it's predictive. You know that I want to do it. You're anticipating what I want next. That's not about, putting up some social media ads. And that's not just about canvassing a neighborhood. That's about taking care of the customers you already have, because they're far more loyal. They're more likely to refer you. It costs you less to acquire them because you've already acquired them. And so how can you nurture those relationships in a way that's broader than just leads and sales? And that's an investment on, once again, it doesn't have to be human to human. It doesn't have to be face to face. It could be your newsletter. It could be content. It could be sharing these kinds of podcasts, or video casts where literally you're like, wow, they were really talking about the value of remodeling. And I wanted to send this, podcast to you so you could listen to it because I know that you're going to want to do it. And so little things like that are what separate brands. And I would also argue realtors as well, because this is about a very personal experience with someone, your most expensive asset. It's a big decision. It's a long-term decision. And it's not something you can quickly unwind. You can't have buyer's remorse on something like this. So, ultimately, that's where I think experience for me in a people business like real estate, you can't fake it, you can't buy it, you can't gloss over it. Like, you've got to figure out how do you embrace it.